Hi, Johnny.
Hi.
Hello. 6 o'clock, right?
That's what they said.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm eating something, so.
No problem. Need your strength.
Turned out to be a half a decent day after all.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be cloudy all day. It was nice. We went to go see the movie Golda. It was very good.
You went to see where? Oh, you saw the movie?
Golda.
Where is it playing?
It's at the Grove.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. She's excellent.
I know, I read about it. So they say she's very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I mean, the makeup is ridiculous. I mean, she looks just like her.
Uh-huh. Somebody told me there's a documentary of her, I think it's on Netflix, on her life, from the beginning.
Oh, about Golda, yeah?
Yeah, so you said it was very interesting also. I know my brother-in-law said that. But I don't remember which
Oh, I could look for it. Yeah.
which streaming service. I think it's Netflix. There's an app that if you put the name of the show, it'll tell you where it's playing, which network. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I have to find out the app. I read about it.
Hey, Walter.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody?
Good.
Good Terabon, Johnny.
Thank you. Couldn't wait till later. I'm sorry.
We're on Chaf Aleph 21. One brisa says that in order to redeem, you can borrow, and you can also don't have to redeem the whole thing, you could redeem half. That you may not borrow, and you're not allowed to redeem half. Lo kasha, harabon and harab shimon. Was the same machlokas that we had yesterday. Rabbanon, who don't give a reason for the pasuk, that when we weaken the guy's strength, it weakens everywhere, except for where the Torah reveals where it's weakened. And by Batei Erechom, it says Geula Mistachuza. So, since over there, by Bais Erechom, Lova V'Goel can work the same thing. But Reb Shimon holds, you learn the reasoning for the Kra, and therefore that's why he says Ein Lova V'Goel. So, the halacha is somebody who sells his house that's in the walled city, you can redeem it, but you can't borrow to redeem it. And you got to redeem the whole thing. You can't redeem half of it. Simon, Cheresh Chaver Zman. These are we're going to ask some kashas, and these are the names. So the chet is Ravacha. You can break this kalvachomer. A person who sells his house in a walled city, he his koach is weakened. He cannot redeem it forever. He has a certain time by which to redeem it, the first year, and then that's it. Ligoil oil means up until Yovel. It's Loilama Shel Yovel. If you're Magdish your field, you have until Yovel to be Magdish. Near their dina, we can sort of go back on the din, taste b'ma'atzot, and learn it with the common denominators. Selling a field, that can be redeemed up until Yovel. Vein love of you cannot borrow and you can't redeem half of it. He has to wait 2 years before he can redeem it. Well, you don't have to wait. You can do it in the first year. Both cases you can redeem, and in both cases they love of a goal. Avi Magdish, I'll bring the case of somebody who sanctifies his field. It's redeemed. He cannot borrow, but it can be redeemed by half. Neither of them can be redeemed in the second year. If you're Magdish a field, you can. And when you sell the Eved Ivri to a goy sheyipakoch ligol b'shana shniya, he can be redeemed in the second year. Ve'ein lova v'gol v'gol chatzoy. He cannot be redeemed at all. He cannot borrow to redeem, and he can't be borrowed. I have. So these are all the kashas. If someone sells your steach guzer, he wants to redeem half the field. He himself cannot redeem half of it, but if the relatives want to redeem it, they can. If you sell your field and you sell your house that's in a walled city, nigala kroivim or nigala kroivim? Can your relatives step in and redeem it, or only the seller? Do we say gulasu means techusa gomar? You can't redeem half of a stechusa, but relatives can. Afainami ain't nigla chatzoy, but nigla kroivim. Oy dilma. Kiksiv geula when it says bistechusa, lechatzoynu dichsiv, but kroivim lo ksiv. It doesn't say o dodo ben dodo. So maybe we don't learn exer sham. Amrle eino nigla kroivim. You may not, kroivim relatives cannot redeem it. Esvei. It says of chol eretz achuzaschem, geula titnu la'aretz. So they make a drasha. The rabbis batim ve'eved ivri. It comes to include geula for houses and an eved ivri. And my lav levate arichoma, that relatives can redeem a bias in a walled city. Lo, this is talking about regular houses. Levate chatzeri. So bate chatzer badeksivu is a beferish prosuk. Al stay aretzi chashev. They're considered like a regular stechuza. You don't need a drasha. So hahula koiva choiva. It's not just that kroivim may redeem it; they must redeem a field. I'll leave it up to Tanya. The goal es mimkar achiv. You shall redeem something that your brother sold. So harei reshus. If he wants to, he can redeem it. Maybe it's an obligation. Talmud Lomar, the ish ki lo yelo goel. If a man doesn't have a redeemer, now everybody is related all the way back to Yaakov Avinu. Elazar sheyesh lo veinerot zalikach shashus biyado di Rabbi Yoshua. He has relatives, but they don't want to do it, and that's okay. But Rabbi Ezra, he must. The ones that say you can include relatives to redeem a house in a walled city, I know to receive bakol. Gulat itnu la'aretz bakol. Elman da'amar the rabbis bat chatzer my bakol. So kasha. So if you sell a house in a walled city, the Kroivim cannot redeem it, just the seller himself. But regular fields and houses that relatives can redeem, they may do it, but it's not an obligation to do it. Like Rabbi Yeshua. The rabbi is kol ha'geula shenigolis keseder hazeh. All the redemptions work the same structure like when an Eved Ivri is sold to a goy. That if he doesn't redeem himself, he can be redeemed by relatives. Now, my love, Bate Arichoma, and Eved Ivri, that even relatives can do that. Lo, relatives can do Bate Chatzerim and Stei Achuza, but not an Irchoma and not an Eved Ivri. So Bate Chatzerim and Stei Achuza Badeksi. It's written beferish there. Stei Artzei Choshe. Onadach by Yitzchak, that which it says relatives can redeem, that's Lekarov Karav Koidim. The closer the relative is, he has the choiva or the schus first. Achanami by the Batechatzer, the same thing, Lekarov Karav Koidim. Where did we see Heichi Itmar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak? Aha, the boiler. Eved Ivri and Imkar Yisrael. An Eved Ivri that's sold to a Jew. Nigal lekroivim or en nigal lekroivim. Can relatives redeem it? Aliba de Rabbi loyte bolacha. Shomer misha en nigal be'ele. Whoever doesn't redeem by relatives, nigal b'sheish. Goes out in 6 years. Misha en nigal be'ele. Nigal alma loy mifrik. So relatives cannot redeem an Eved Ivri. Kiti boil chalibid rabbanon. My. Do we say alfin and socher? If you're sold to a goy, relatives can redeem. And it says socher by goy and socher by the Eved Ivri. So do we learn Xer Shava? And just like if you're sold to a goy, relatives can redeem you, maybe the same thing is if you're sold to a Jew. V'lo darshi galenu. Odilma, this Yigalenu, which is written by sold to a goy, is lezeh v'lo la'acher. Only he can be redeemed by relatives, but nobody else. Toshma, b'chol geula titenu. The Rabbus batim ve'eved ivri. What kind of batim? My love, batei arichom ve'eved ivri, anim kal Yisrael. Lo. We're talking about when can kroivim redeem you? Ve'eved ivri anim kal nachri. Eved Ivri and Imkal Nachri Badeksiv be. Oy doi doi, oy benda doi galenu. You don't need another pasu. Ahula koiva choiva. Here's the same thing. It becomes obligatory. If a relative was sold to a goy, he has an obligation to redeem. I feel Rabbi Yeshua, where there's no obligation by karka, but here we don't want him to become assimilated among the goyim. There's an obligation to redeem it. Toshma. The rabbis call geula shenigos keseder razeh. My love, lebate irichon v'evedim kal Yisrael, that relatives can redeem. If you sell a house in a walled city or an Eved Ivri sold to a Jew, lo. Lebate chatzer mistei achuza. Regular fields, regular houses. The closer relative has kadima. Then it says in the Mishnah of Anirtza Nikne B'Ritzia, the owner of an Eved Ivri wants to stay forever, acquires him by making a hole in his ear. The koina esatzma beyovel u'misa sa'odam. Such an Eved goes out to his freedom by yovel or the death of his master. Tichsiv va'avado leolam. V'lo saben, v'lo sabas. He doesn't get inherited by the son of the daughter. Why does it say la'olam? La'olam shel yovel means up until yovel. Doesn't mean forever, it means until yovel. Talk about a martseya. This is a device that was used to make a hole in the ear. Ainli ela b'martseya. Minay l'rabos es asol. This is like a sharp wooden piercing thing. Ve'asira, a thorn. A machad, a needle. Ve'amegdach, that's like a trefine. Ve'amichta, where you cut wax. Talmud Lomer v'lokachto samartzei l'rabos kodor shenikach biyad. Div Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda. Anything that you can hold by your hand that will make a hole will suffice. Rabbi Yomer, no. Marmar tzeh miyuchid shel mateches, avkol shel has to be metal. Dover acher, v'lakachto samartzeya, lavia samartzeya gadol. This is the large martzeya. Ora lezer Yudin berebi, hayadoresh. That's from Yuda. Kishen roitzin and roitzin el v'milsa, that the hole was made in the earlobe. The Chachamim Amrim no, ein eved ivri kohen nirtza, and they should not say balmum. So the Chachamim held you put the mum here in the upper part of the ear, which would make a kohen a balmum, and therefore a kohen who was an eved who wants to stay forever, he's not nirtza. Vim tomer b'milsa hem roitzim, if they only make a hole in the earlobe. Eved ivri kohen yaseh balmum. You don't become a balmum with a hole in your earlobe. The hole is made in the upper part of the ear. Now, what is the point, the Nakuda that Rebbe and Rabbi Yossi are arguing it? Rebbe Darish klali uprati. V'lakachto samartzeya. Lakachto ze klal. Can use anything. Martzeya prat. It's a certain thing. Baznova delas chaz of a klal. So klalu pratu klal. Iata danel kena prat. Ma prat mufurish shel mateches. It's made out of metal. Avkol shel mateches. Any tool you use has to be out of metal. Rabbi Yossi darsh ribu umiyuti. V'lakachta arei riba. It's a generality. Martzeya miye. It's exclusion. Boz of adelas chaz of a riba. Riba umiyet v'riba riba kol. My Rabbi kol nili. Everything. My miyet sam. You may not use like a chemical that makes a hole in the skin. Amarma. Amartzeya lavi martzeya gadol. My mashma, how do you see that? Kedam Rava. When it says that Yaakov Avinu was struck on the calf or the thigh, Gina Nosha Ashral Kafa Yorich. Hamiyumena should be Yorich. It's the part of the Yorich that sticks out. Which is either the right one or the more important one. Things that make a hole, this is the best, the most unique item that makes a hole. They would make a hole in the earlobe. A Kohen Eved Ivri cannot become a Nirtza because he would become a Balmum. So v'yaseh Balmum, so what? Rav Shlosh Amar Kra, v'shav el mishpachto, l'muchzak sheb'mishpachto. He has to go back to do the same thing that his family does. So he can't go back and be a Balmum when he's freed. because he won't be able to be chayzer to his mishpacha. Iboilu. Eved ivri koyen. Maushiyim Rabu Shifcha Knanis. And a Kohen has various restrictions who he can marry. Can't marry Grusha, can't marry Giyoris. Now, a Shifcha Knanis is not a Giyoris yet, but she's not a Goyete either. She's halfway. So can the master give the Kohen a Shifcha Knanis? Do we say the whole concept that a Jew, an Eved Ivri, is allowed to live with a Shifcha Knanis Chidushu? Because normally you're not allowed to marry them. And maybe the Chiddush extends Loishna Kohanim v'Loishna Yisrael. Oidil Meshani Kohanim Oil v'Ribo ben Akosov Mitzvah Yiserus. Since Kohanim have one more mitzvahs than we do, it's going to be Aser. Machlekes Rav and Shmuel. Rav Amar Mutter, Shmuel Amar Aser. Ermelei Rav Nachman Rav Anan Ki Avisu be Shmuel Bitkomardi Italitu. He said that they didn't learn seriously. My time Lotemer Lemeha. Why did you bring a proof to say, obviously, Chachamim Oimer ein Eved Ivri Kohen Nirtza b'Pnei Shana Sabama. V'im Tomer ein Rabba Moisrael Shivcha Knanis. How can you say that the master can't give the Kohen a Shivcha? Tepuk Lei, there would be another reason why he cannot stay forever. The Bo'ina Ahavti Sadoni es Ishti, my wife, the Shivcha Vespni, the Leka. He wouldn't be able to be Makayim as a Kohen, the Sulomidi. So therefore, there's a proof that it's clear that the master can give a Kohen a Shivcha Knanis. Iboilu. What about, now that you started talking about a Kohen, Mao the Yifastoya? We know there's a din that if you're out in war and you see a girl, you're allowed to sleep with her first time. If you want to make her your wife, you've got to bring her to your house, shave her head, grow her nails, marry her. So is a Kohen allowed to sleep with the Yifastoya? Do we say Chidshuhu, Chidushu Loshna Kohen Loshna Yisrael? Kohanim are on a higher level, maybe they don't. Rav Amar Mutter, Shmuel Amar Aser. The Bia Rishoina, Kula Amalo Plikidishoy. Sleeping with her the first time, everyone permits. Lo Dibra Torah, Ela Keneged Yetzer Hara. They know that men have Yetzer Hara, they're out in battle. So they give you permission the first time. Ki Pligi, the Bia Shnia. Rav Amar Mutter, you're allowed to convert her and marry her. Ushmul Amar Aser. Rav Amar Mutter, all the history. Once he allowed to sleep with her, he can marry her. Ushmul Amar Aser, Da'av Yalei Gioris. In essence, she's a convert. The Gioris L'Kohen L'Chazi. Kohen can't marry a Gioris. According to the second version, everybody holds it's usher to marry her. Rav Amar Mutter, the loy dibur Torah keneged Yetzer Hara, so everyone, even a Kohen has a Yetzer Hara. Shmuel Amar Aser, kol heicha de karina bei va'avesel toch beisecha. There's a Tanai. If you can bring her to your house and marry her, karina bei v'ra'isa b'shivya v'chashakta b'olakat chalisha. If you can't marry her, lo karina be v'ra'isa b'shivya. Halacha is Kohen can be a rishoina with Yifas Toyer, but he's not allowed to marry her because she's a gioris. And halacha is that a Kohen who was sold as Eved Ivri, he can live with a Shivcha Knanis. Be paskin like Rav. By the way, a gioris, even if she was converted less than 3 years old, she's Asr L'Kohen. By the way, a Yifas Toar is mutter only when taken captive. And there's no, whether she's a Pesula or Be'ula, even an Eishasish, you'd be allowed to live with her. Okay, we're gonna finish Gittin now. We have some time. So let's finish Gittin.